Hello everybody, Tom Cosm here. I wanted to share with you today an application I've been working on that allows you to resample a synthesizer in multiple wave files which are named the name of what note they are. Good for loading into software samplers, and this can be used for external synthesizers or internal synthesizers. I'm going to be using internal today because I don't have anything hardware around me to use, but it does work with external hardware. So let's open it up and have a look. It is a standalone application, so you don't need Ableton Live or Mac's MSP to run this, and this is what it looks like. Works on PC and Mac as well. First thing we need to do is specify our audio card options, so I click on this button, and the main thing you want is your input device. So if you have an external synthesizer, you need to specify what sound card that's currently plugged into. So in this case, I'm using Soundflower, which is an internal audio pipe in between Mac. And if we go into my Ableton Live preferences, you'll see that the audio output device is Soundflower 2 channel. So back to the application, so that's good. Then you need to specify your output. This is good so you can test it, you can listen to it getting resampled. So that's just my built-in output for now. Close that down. Now I'm going to refresh the Midi ports, and this shows you all the Midi options available to you at the moment. Again, I'm going to be using the IAC driver bus 1. IAC drivers are internal Midi ports on a Mac. So if I go into my live preferences here, and go into my Midi, you'll see that IAC driver bus 1 in my Midi ports, the track is on. So that's going to be receiving note data, because this application sends note data out. When it plays the note, it records it to your hard drive in a folder you specify and names the files accordingly. So now that's all done, I can select a folder. I'm going to choose this resampled synth folder, which I created earlier. Then you choose a file name. I'm going to call it demo synth. And this also adds to the end of the file name what note was resampled. Next you specify a range, so you specify a start note, let's say A1, and an end note, say D3, and then you can choose steps. This is how often you want it to resample, so one semitone, it will resample every single note within this range. This will do every second one, third one, all the way up to an octave. I'm just going to leave that on one semitone for now. Next you specify the velocity, or how hard you want the note to be hit. I'm going to choose 127. Then you choose the sustain, which is how long you want the note to be held for. It's quite a short sound, so I'm just going to make this say half a second there. This is in milliseconds. Then you need to specify a release. You need to take into consideration your synth patch and any effects you have on it, and how long there might be a tail for. So for example, I have a reverb here with a decay time of 1.2 seconds. So I need to make sure that my release time is at least over 1.2 seconds or 1200 milliseconds. So I'm just going to pick, let's say 1339, and that just makes sure it doesn't cut off the sample's end. There's also a record delay parameter. This is just in case you find that it's recording and cutting off the start of the sample. So this will just delay everything a little bit once it starts recording before it plays the note. But I'm going to leave that on 0 for now. Now we can click on test and have a listen. Oh, make sure we turn on our audio engine over here by clicking on the microphone. So again, that's sending out of the IAC driver bus to Ableton Live. Ableton Live sending the audio of this patch into this device via the Soundflower routing. So that's all good to go. I'm going to click on begin. And you'll see it's playing every note between A1 and D3 in increments of one semitone. And if I go over to my folder here, you'll see it's creating these samples for us. And I'm just going to stop that for now. And if we go over here and play one of these, very good. And then once that's done, you can drag that into your sampler and you can range it correctly or whatever. And again, the main purpose of this is for people who have hardware synthesizers that maybe don't have presets, something like an MS-20 or something, and then create a cool patch, and they want to resample it completely, a whole range, so they can therefore bring it into Ableton Live or bring it into their other DAW and use it in their production all the time. It is sort of in a beta stage, so if you do find something wrong with it, please let me know via social media or whatever, and I will try and fix it and make it better. Cheers.